So you might have heard this guy Trump really likes tariffs.
Favorite word.
So I remember the first time that we really started hearing about this again. He was on the PBD podcast when Trump came on, and he goes, "You know my favorite word? Tariffs. I love it. It's the best word in the world.
Yeah.
Better than love.
Yeah.
Better than love." And the next time I heard him start talking about it, it was like his third favorite word. He's like, "The best word in the world is love. We all need love.
Yeah.
But they say love can't buy a thing. Can't buy me love.
But tariffs.
But tariffs. It'll buy me what I need to buy." So I feel like almost like a stand-up comedian right now because I'm going to try out a kind of a new bit right here.
Yeah.
Sort of some new takes on tariffs. And I actually need your guys' active involvement. Tell me you agree. Tell me you disagree. Tell me I'm right. Tell me I'm wrong. But here's
What's your
what I don't
point?
understand.
Yeah,
What's your point? What's your point? Get to the point.
We can do
Okay.
this. We can have some fun. We can have some fun. Nobody's ever told me that. So we all know the following. That a tariff, tell me if I'm right or wrong here, guys. A tariff is just a tax on imported goods that the importing company has to pay, but typically they pass that price along to consumers. It's almost like raising the minimum wage. Yeah, we're going to raise the minimum wage. Sure, raise the minimum wage. Okay, so now your burger that costs $12 now costs $16.
Yeah.
It's just going to get passed along to the consumer.
If the consumer pays it, and one of the reasons you put a tariff in is to stop people. They say, well, that's too expensive. I guess I won't buy coffee from Brazil this week. And then it hurts them on the other side because now the tariff.
If the consumer is willing to pay it. You're absolutely right. So Trump believes the following, that if tariffs go up on foreign nations, then taxes could potentially go down on American citizens. You know, he said the following quote, "Instead of taxing our own citizens to enrich foreign nations, we should be tariffing and taxing foreign nationals to enrich our citizens." So he believes in this. So what we don't understand, I guess, fully with these tariffs is that it can cause a trade war. A trade war is actually happening. So we have hot wars, we have cold wars, like in USSR versus us back in the day, but there's trade wars are actively happening in this country. So we see what happens, that it's almost like, have you ever seen two Indian guys arguing? Got brace for impact, and they go, "No, fuck are you? No, fuck are you? Yeah. I fuck you. You fuck me. You fuck you. I fuck you."
That was more Chinese, but it was like, fuck you, my friend. Then
okay, my friend, I fuck you.
Fuck you. Fuck,
no,
I fuck
okay, go back and forth. No,
sorry.
fuck you, Minnie.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You're showing me.
You.
No, fuck you.
Fuck you.
No, fuck you.
You.
This
Let's
is a
say
trade
it 10
war.
more times, guys.
Yeah, well,
It's
Adam's
a
going
trade
for
war.
the gusto.
What happened right now?
No, go ahead. Just go.
Okay.
It was Chinese, but it turned Indian. No,
We can do a Chinese if you fuck you.
got it, go.
The point is this.
Even more offensive than the Indian one.
I have no idea where that accent came from.
Oh
It's a
my.
Chinese accent.
Adam, get to the...
That'll shock the hell
Why
out
do
of
I
a
get
lot
to
of
get-
Chinese.
I'm trying out a new bit here.
Somebody put in the chat, Trickster PBD is going to place tariffs on Adam.
So
It's funny.
what happens is when you start a trade war, what's going to happen is, so if U.S. is selling cars for $10,000 and China comes in and they're selling cars for $7,500, right?
Yes.
You're naturally, as a consumer, going to be like, all right, I can pay $10,000 for this Jeep or $7,500 for this. What does China make? Hondas, whatever the hell they make. Yeah, I don't know what they make.
Yeah.
But the point is, the consumer says, all right, I'm going to have this, I'm going to have this. Now, Trump comes in, does a 100% tariff. That $7,500 car now costs how much?
15 grand.
15 grand. So now the American consumer is going to say, okay, 10,000, 7,500, that's 15,000. Go back to the 10,000. But in the laws of supply and demand, Tom, what's going to happen if all these American cars are being sold? It's hot in demand, supply is limited. So what do the American companies start to do?
Well, the American companies won't do it, but you bet your ass that the dealerships will put those. If you've ever bought in a car that was like very, very popular, the first F-150 Lightnings, which was the electric pickup truck, dealers were putting like an extra $5 or $7 grand because so many people were like, man, the Ford F-150, it's the best pickup made. Now I can get it in electric version. I want one. And 3 people showed up to buy the 2 trucks that were on the lot.
Yeah.
So the point is,
Your
it's
point
gonna drive
exactly.
up demand. So now what you're thinking is protecting the American companies.
The dealers raised.
They're going to start raising the prices. So now you're going to have to start paying $13,000 or $18,000 for that American vehicle that you could have had at 10, but now because you want to limit the Chinese car at 7,500, you bumped that up to 14. Now who's ending up paying the price? The American consumer, because cars which were 7,500 to 10,000 now all cost 14 to 18,000. So the American consumer is going to end up losing in the end. And then what happens on top of that is retaliatory tariffs start coming in, and now American companies are going to have to start charging more in foreign countries. So here we go here. We have that example. You guys with me?
I'm with you.
Okay. This is what I want to try out. So instead of people understand trade war, what's going on here. When's the last time you went to a nightclub?
Jeez, with you.
Okay. And that's the last time. Exactly.
I tried
Last
to
time
fight
you were
everybody.
Tom, when's the last time you went to a nightclub?
I don't go with you anymore because with that Chinese accent, we usually get stopped. We would get stopped at the Velvet Rope, and they'd be
Tom,
like,
we all
"Guys,
saw the dance.
Tom.
We saw the
The
dance.
dance.
Rob, when's the last time your wife let you leave the house not to work?
2016 or 17.
Okay. Kelly, I know you're not on screen. When's the last time you went to a
Oh,
nightclub?
these two maniacs over here.
I have no idea.
Last night. Okay.
No way.
So the point is, instead of a trade war, let's call it a cover war. Let's understand what's going on here right now. So let's say there's a strip of clubs, not a strip club,
A strip of
a
clubs.
strip of clubs, and everyone kind of gets to pick and choose the club they want to go to. Now here are the 5 clubs you have. Or 4 clubs. You have the biggest, best club, which is Club America. Red, white, and blue, big titty bartenders doing their things. Everything's got going on.
Yes.
Maybe they're fake, maybe they're not. I don't know, but that's Club America right there. Then you got Club Canada, call it Club Maple. Now you got whiskey, you got hot bartenders, you got dudes with, only
Dip
a
in
couple
their lip.
teeth.
Yeah.
Because, they play hockey. You got Club Mexico, big booty Latinas, they're serving tequila, they're doing their thing.
oh my."
And you got the
Cock
Dragon
fights.
Lounge,
Yeah.
cockfights, not that time.
Yeah.
And you got the Dragon Lounge, Chinese, high tech, low prices. They stole all our drinks, they stole our alcohol, IP theft, they got what going on. So here's what happens. Nobody's charging cover charges, okay? But Club America, because it's the best club, they're allowing everybody to bring in drinks from other clubs to come on in because it's the biggest and best place.
Yeah.
But none of the other clubs are allowing anything from America to come into their club. Sorry. Or you have to pay a $10 cover charge. So America looks at this. You have DJT, the DJ at Club America, the president of Club America, the boss of Club America. He goes, "No, excuse me, this is very unfair." What do you mean? We let them bring their drinks in here. We don't charge a cover charge. Now they don't do the exact same for us. We're being treated very unfairly.
Yes.
So what we're going to do is charge a $50 cover for any of you mother suckers that come from other clubs with other drinks that come into Club America. We're the biggest, best club in the whole block. So what happens is this. The Chinese club, no, I don't think so. They start raising their prices. The nice Canadians that don't want a trade war, all of a sudden, their gay club owner, Justin Trudeau, whoever it is like, "Excuse me, we're going to start charging tariffs too." You got the Mexican guy who's like, "Oh, all of a sudden, we're going to do a trade war. Let's go. Oh, yeah, So all of a sudden, everybody's charging more to get into their clubs. So what happens to the consumer? They're like, "Yo, we used to have no trade. We used to have no cover. We used to be able to go to all these clubs." So what happens? Now there's less people going to the clubs, less bartenders making money, less companies making money, less people that are basically showing up. The clubs start to fold because they don't make as much money here. Less drinks being sold. The VIPs who are buying bottles in all the clubs, all of a sudden start. So here's what happens. All of a sudden, there's an underground club that shows up. I don't know who it is. They say, "Listen, there's no cover charge. Bring whatever you want. The drinks are flowing, the drugs are flowing. I don't know, but bring whatever you want." All of a sudden, all those clubs start shutting down, and the underground club starts becoming the coolest thing in town. What's my point to all this? I'm sure you're asking.
For sure we are.
They are actually. I'm reading it in the
Sure.
chat.
They're definitely.
We hear that obviously everyone here in the chat, I'm assuming, loves Trump. They're brainwashed. They believe everything he says. I voted for Trump. I'm okay with these tariffs as long as there is an outcome. If we're just blindly following Trump, thinking that this could work out in the end without questioning, hey, is this really what we want to end up doing? We might end up in a very tough predicament. We're seeing what's going on in the stock market right now. We're seeing what's going on, potential recession they're talking about. We're seeing 401ks go down. We're seeing brokerage accounts go down. We're seeing crypto go down. Prices are going up potentially. Inflation might be going up. We'll see. They're saying GDP expectations might be going down. All this so we can be treated more fairly. There's no doubt that the United States has done the most of any country in the world since World War II in the last 75 years to create a amazing world where everyone can succeed. But sometimes it comes at our expense. So I give Trump massive credit for saying, not under my watch. However, at what point will we pay the price for doing all these things and implementing all these things? Because you know who ends up winning in a trade war? Nobody. The consumers are going to end up paying a lot more. There's going to be more restrictions. There's going to be less trade that's going around the world, and global stability could potentially be on the forefront. So I want to let you guys weigh in on this, but trying to block competition at first may help, but at the end, it might be the American consumer that might end up losing.
Tom, are you trying to go to the DJT club or?
Well, there's some other things that happen. Sometimes the other side blinks because the weaker trading partner with the smaller GDP on a dollar for dollar basis is hurt worse. For instance, Canada 2 days ago said that they were going to tariff. There is a couple border electricity pacts that Canada and the United States have. And this is where areas of Canada are right next to areas of the United States. And it was just more feasible for one country or the other to be providing all the electricity. And so Canada said, hey, we've got a couple areas where this area, right on the border with these things, we're doing electricity tariff. And Trump said, you're what? And came back and said, well, I'm going to hit you with some much bigger tariffs. And there's 14 days till they hit. I think it was 50% additional tariff he offered to put on. No, it was additional 25 to make it 50 on things. And guess what Canada did? Oh, you didn't think we were serious about the electricity thing, did you?
Yeah, we're joking.
They shut it down today, 1 o'clock today. They said, no, we will not be doing the electricity thing.
That was Doug Ford, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Said, we're not going to do the electricity thing. And so now it's like, who's blinking? The smaller GDP is usually blinking. And also, I said it 2 weeks ago that they were threatening to put tariffs in Europe on Harley Davidson motorcycles and Levi's. They were doing it to put headlines in their own newspapers for their citizens because they don't buy Harley Davidsons and Levi's in Europe. That's not what they buy. There are some sold.
They buy little mopeds.
There are some sold, but they buy those little Vespa things.
Yes.
But the point is,
Hop
they
on,
are not.
Giuseppe.
We do not sell boatloads and boatloads and boatloads and boatloads of Harley Davidsons in Europe and Levi's. It's just not. So they were threatening to tariff something that really was. I told you. Remember, I mentioned this 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
And guess what? Today, those tariffs are going into effect. Somewhere in, where's Harley Davidson headquartered now? Milwaukee? Somewhere in Milwaukee. Oh, crap. 13 motorcycles are going to get a tariff on them next week. And that's what's going on. Usually, the smaller GDP usually blinks. And I think we're seeing the beginning of the blinking because there are people in the Canadian Parliament that know October 20th is coming for the election. And they are sitting there saying, yeah, let's get through this food poisoning as quick as we can. And let's get to a level set here because this isn't going to help anywhere. And you know what? It's the only card Carney has to play because he's from the liberal side.
Yeah.
And what does he do? Attack the capitalists, attack the orange man, attack things. He's not paying attention. They couldn't even hold a threat of the electricity tariff for more than a week. They couldn't hold the threat for a week. No, just kidding. I'm not going to do it. Because we looked over our shoulder and we said, you what?
Yeah.
Oh, no, don't. Stay on your end of the bar. No. Don't come down here and break my nose. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I'm picking up your beer too.
Yeah,
That's mine. It's on me.
Yeah.
That's what's going on. So I love it. They blink.
Good.
And then Europe's going to tax Harleys and Levi's.
Yeah.
Oh,
no.
I'm terrified.
Yeah, all three of
But
them.
that's only for headlines in Europe so that they can show they're retaliating against the evil U.S. Underneath, they're all saying the same thing. Okay, so 3 weeks ago, he got us on the hook for the Ukraine war. That's going to be expensive, but at least we have a loan on it. Now he's got the tariff thing coming. You watch how this is going to play out. Just keep watching.
I can't wait. And then Rob, I'm gonna go to you. If you think about it, Tom, I know I was joking earlier because Adam, you made a good point that it's a trade war. The word war is in there for a reason. We can't invade Canada. We can't dude, a guy talking like that being tough. Like other countries would they'd literally get into an actual war because now you're trying to F with us, right? We can't get into a war with Mexico, even though we have, I think, Tom, labeling, the cartels and stuff terrorists. We could actually.
Well, that's different.
That's a whole different situation. But
Mexico doesn't like the cartels either.
Yeah, for sure.
But the most risky thing you can often do in Mexico is, hi, I'm running for office and I'm against the cartels.
How many people died that were running against?
Well, there was a guy that was just elected mayor. This was 6 months ago, but then they found his head. I'm sorry to laugh.
on the car.
They found his severed head on top of a car to send a message.
Yeah. So since this is since we can't fight you, we're gonna have a trade war. And Tom, you nailed it. We're much bigger. We're way stronger. We're gonna last. But I want the American people out there, the ones that are kind of on the fence that you were talking about, that are like, dude, what is he doing? What the hell? The stock market, guys. We have had a dislocated shoulder for 4 years, and Trump just snapped that shit back into place. And has anybody ever had a dislocated shoulder? It's going to hurt just because it's back in. It's going to be sore. It's going to be painful. But guess what? We're going to come back. Just hang tight, batten down the hatches. It's going to be hurting for a little while, but this is what you have to do. I love that people think that we're just going to come in and everybody was going to play ball. They're not going to play ball. They're going to have little tough weasels like Mark Carney come on, be tough, like Justin Trudeau's bitch ass trying to be tough, and all of a sudden he was crying like, Canadians are going to do this. You're a pussy. And I'm so happy he's gone. And I'm so happy for the Canadian people. And I'm so happy. When's the election? You said October?
October 20th.
You guys have a chance. Don't talk the talk. We talk the talk and we walk the walk because we put the guy in that we wanted. The guy that lost in 2020 because they all were against his ass. The lawfare. They're trying to assassinate him. But we stuck freaking with our guy, and our guy won. And I hope you guys do the same shit for whoever you want. I just hope they don't screw you guys at the end.
The world will be watching that election because that election is going to determine who's there. And the person that's there is going to be a member of what economic group? G7.
G7, yeah. So let's see. Rob, I want to finish up, Rob, because I want to close.
No, I do like the way that, like you said, Trump is using the trade war to instill policy that he campaigned on.
Yes.
Right? I want to tighten up the border. So what did he do? Did you see the guy that killed Kiki, the DEA agent, Kiki Camarano? Was that his name? Mm-hmm. There was a Mexican drug dealer that was jailed in Mexico for the past 30 years. And because of part of the trade wars and the tariff war with Mexico, Mexico handed him over and gave him to the United States so that we can put him in our jurisdiction and then put him in our prisons. So I like seeing that this is not just... A lot of people are going to go to what Adam is saying. They're going to panic. Okay, well, now my coffee costs $2 more than it did. There's going to be, from everything that Trump and Howard Lutnick have said, there's going to be an adjustment period for Americans. But in the long run, we believe this is going to be best. And outside of the Epstein files and the JFK and the MLK files, everything that Trump has said that he was going to do, for the most part, he has come in and fulfilled those promises, at least gotten the ball rolling. The other day, I saw RFK going into Five Guys Burgers and Fries, it was Steak and Shake, because they had moved to the beef tallow instead of cooking in.
Yeah. French fries are now fried in beef tallow.
Yeah, rather than so these promises that they made, and they may be small to some people, but the things that I voted for, I'm seeing come true. So there is a part where I'm like, hey, you've come through on 85% of the other things so far for me, so I'll give you the benefit of the doubt on the 15% on the tariffs. I believe that you know more about business than I do.
Yeah.
So I'll end with this. I'm rooting for Trump. I want this to work. I voted for this. My number one thing voting for Trump wasn't necessarily tariffs, but it was bringing back patriotism to America, for sure. I don't believe that the far left actually loves America. I could criticize the far right. At the very least, I could say that they love America. They love America so much, they don't want anybody else to be here.
They don't want to share.
They don't want to share it. So I'm rooting for Trump. At the same time, we can't just assume that Trump knows exactly how this tariff game of chicken is going to end. Because when you play chicken, there's a chance that you run into each other. And that is my fear. So I'm rooting for this. I want this to be the best for America, but I'm also paying close attention to seeing how this is going. My stock portfolio is down 10%. Everyone's here's is. Bitcoin's down, the equities are down, everything's down. Inflation, we're going to see what happens to that. They're expecting, talking about the consumer, they're expecting that the typical American household will end up having to pay $1,700 more because of a lot of these tariffs. So let's see what happens, but let's not just blindly follow Trump and being like, yay, everything costs more. There's going to be some good and some bad. I'm rooting for the best, but prepare for the worst, guys.
Dude, only the paranoid survive, and we're dude. And Rob, and we're.
I know
done.
my Tesla stock's down, but I'm still showing
Yeah,
a positive return because I've been investing for a long time and got in at a good
Yeah,
price.
well,
By the way, you're up today, by the way.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just looked.
Only the
From
paranoid-
yesterday to today, it's up. Gee, I wonder.
Yeah, only the paranoid survive. And guess what? And you nailed Adam. I'm rooting for the best because guess what? This is our freaking guy. Yes, I'm upset because and again, this wasn't even when we did the poll on the PBD podcast. How many people wanted to know about the JFK, RFK, 9/11 files out of everything that was out of importance?
10%. Yeah.
10% and 11. It got up to 11. I'm in that 11% because to me, besides the money, Adam, and all that, guys, money's gonna come and go, and all this shit in your life is whatever. But when it comes to the things that they were doing to the kids, the things that they did to a sitting president, because bro, think about it. They murdered a sitting president. They tried it with Trump. They did it with JFK. They shot his freaking brother. Like all this stuff. 9/11. Well, how many documents? There's like 9 pages or what? 11 pages that they don't want to show us. Why don't you want to show us? And when they say national security, to me, that's because you don't want to implicate foreign leaders and foreign countries because they had a hand in it. I still want to know. I'll be cool waiting because if they promise it, that shit better come out. I don't think it's going to happen. But at least the JFK and the 9/11 I want to see, especially being a freaking New Yorker. And besides 9/11, the biggest tragedy in this country was the assassination of a sitting president. They killed our freaking king from within. All right? If you read Roger Stone's book, Lyndon B. Johnson, all these guys, all of them were involved. That's a whole
I just find it very ironic that your biggest thing, Vinny, Joe Biden's the worst president ever, you're willing to sacrifice everything to find out who killed a Democrat president.
100%. Because you know what, Adam? He was still our president. So if you like this clip, click right here. And if you want to see more like it, click right here. Stay angry, Patriots.